Hi guys, gals, and my non-gender conforming pals. My name is Carrington. Welcome back to another video. Or if you are new here, welcome. I would love if you would hit that subscribe button down below. Click the little bell to be notified of all my future uploads. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so today I am telling you 10 palettes that I think of spring when I see them. These are 10 palettes that I have in my collection. They're not going to be, put in any particular order. These are just palettes that are in my collection that whenever I look at them, they're palettes that inspire me to use them during spring. Of course, you can use them any other time of the year, but just know I personally think of spring when I look at these. Also, if you hear a bunch of noise, the puppies are in here with me. I have filmed 3 videos so far, so that's a lot of time, and they were in napping. Now nap time is over, so they are making tons of noise. So let's go ahead and let's see what palettes I have. All right, so the very first palette that I have just here on top, again, in no particular order, is the Douce palette from Juvia's place. I mean, just look at this inside. The pinks, the greens. You also have some very light neutral shades. You also have this one that you can darken things up with. But I mean, just like these 2 shades right here. So macaroons and puffs right here. Okay. Like scream spring and like Easter to me. Absolutely beautiful. I love this palette for spring. I think I heard somewhere that this was being discontinued or is being discontinued. I know this, like, a lot of people have this palette. So if you guys can get this, definitely check it out. Definitely worth it for spring. If you guys are into this color story, again, check it out. I mean, it's so beautiful. All right, next up is from McGrath. It is the Divine Rose 2 palette. So the shades are like very just like kind of like mauve for like the neutrals and stuff, and like I do kind of think somewhat of mauves when I come to spring, like cool tone, like a cool tone spring look. I think of like these shades. And then the special shades over here, like the duochrome, well, I guess it's called a multi-chrome. This shade right here, it's also like a little duochrome. I really just think of spring. And whenever I put it on my eyes, like if I put it on my eyes in like winter or summer, I'm just always like, man, this really reminds me of spring. And it makes me really sad in winter whenever I put it on. And then I think of spring because I absolutely hate winter. And I hate that it's not spring. But anyways, yes, okay, I absolutely think of spring. And the packaging itself, I mean, like, look at this packaging, okay? That screams spring. So good. Next up from Give Me Glow is the Vivid Rose palette. Now, I know they have a Vintage Rose, and I don't have that. But whenever I look at that, I think more like fall. This one, I mean, the vibrancy of the packaging already screams spring to me. But then all of these colors inside, like the very bright pinks and the very like cool toned muted kind of purples, and then these shimmers, beautiful. Okay, first of all, this palette, if you don't have this palette and if it's available on their website, I don't know if it is or not, I would say go check it out because this is absolutely beautiful. The formula is amazing. I think I did a video. Yeah, I did a video using this. I will link this down below. But guys, this is beautiful. Like, this is such a spring palette if I've ever seen one. It's absolutely beautiful. Definitely go and check it out. Okay, next up from Colourpop, I just purchased this. It is the Colourpop Fade Into Hue palette. Yeah, I mean, okay guys, yeah, this is absolutely spring. Whenever I look at this, like the pastel pinks, the oranges, the yellows, the light greens, the pastel purples, the light blues, pastel blues, like this palette just absolutely just like screams spring. And I have actually already kind of like busted into it. I don't know if you got, I don't know if you can tell or not, but I've already created a look using the pink, the purple, and the greens. So I haven't done the blues, the yellows, or the oranges, but I was very impressed, and it definitely was very, very spring-like. Okay, number 5 is my Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. Okay, with all of these pastels in there and all the different shades, it's definitely it's a spring palette for those that are very, very interested in colors. Just because like the amount of like pastels and the colors that were chosen are definitely very spring, very Easter, reminds me of like flowers and a bright blue sky and just like stuff like that. So I know Jeffree Star is very controversial. You know, I have this palette. I haven't bought any of his new stuff, but I have this palette, okay? I'm not gonna like get rid of it just because it's in my collection. Like, all right, this is from a long time, like what, 3 years ago but now. But yeah, just like when I look at this, it's definitely like if you are a colorful person, this is definitely going to be like a spring palette for you, for sure. Next up is Kylie Cosmetics, and that is the Stormi palette. Again, they have like the pinks and the peaches and the very light and airy purples. And then again, the mattes are very just like cool and like you can just like blend them out to be very like nice and airy. They don't have to be super pigmented, anything like that. This is not for you if you have deeper skin tones. This is definitely like a very for like light skin kind of people. I don't really know if it's going to show up on anybody much deeper than me, truthfully, because I sometimes tend to struggle with just like this shade right here showing up and sometimes this shade right here and this shade showing up on me. And I am like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Okay, like when it comes to foundations, I generally have to pick like the lightest foundation that they make. And sometimes even then, if it's like drugstore, it's not light enough for me. From BH. This is one of the newer palettes that I tried. And it is the Cotton Candy palette. Okay, obviously if you guys can like tell a theme, like pinks and purples and like mint greens are what I think of when I think of spring. And like maybe some like cooler tones or light browns. Like that's what I think of when I think of spring. So just so we know, that's my vibe. That's what I think of when I think of spring. So a lot of these have those colors. But this palette's so pretty. I did a video with this. I have worn this palette to work and stuff, and I always get compliments when I use this palette. Every single time. It's so beautiful. Okay, these shades that they have, these two right here, so beautiful. Such a good palette. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Would say if you're wanting a spring palette and you don't want to spend a lot of money or hardly any money, because these are like $18, okay, which is kind of expensive for like 8 shades. It's not really that expensive, it's like $2 a shade. But you can usually find them on sale or get like a discount from BH. So, one to think about. Next up is from Lunar Beauty, and that is the Strawberry Dream palette. I mean, just like looking at this, it looks like a sunset that you would like see like in like the spring, I don't know, in the spring, like in like all the colors. Love it. And then you open it up inside, and again, they have like those bright blues that you could like really make like a cute spring look with. They have some pinks. They have some like little like kind of like little mauve-y kind of shades right there. And then they have this blue diamond shade. It's very chunky. So just like keep that in mind. It's a chunk, and then you just like, okay, it's like a blue, purple, white. So like in the pan, it's like white, and then it's got like a bluish purple like shift. It's beautiful. Whenever I got this box set, okay, let me just preface it by saying this. Whenever I got this box set, we were at the time moving all of our stuff out of our bedroom so we could work on our floors. Okay, this was like last year, almost a year ago, not quite, but almost. And then I had brought it home and I had stashed it somewhere because I wanted to do a review. Okay, I did. I wanted to do a review. And then I forgot all about it. And then I just found it today. But I have used it a couple of times. And when I look at this, it definitely is spring. But just know, I'm going to do an actual review on the whole thing because I think you can still get it. Okay, look, you can still get some of the things on Midas's website. Okay, and this is the Smoky Glow palette. See? I mean, literally just full of like pinks and purples and then some neutrals in case you don't want to do just like all pink, you know, just want a couple, like some neutrals to throw in there. Have all that. Again, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, definitely spring. And then this little like jump cut is like a beautiful coral. Okay, absolutely beautiful coral. Stunning. The shade Nutty here, I love this so much. Okay, it's like this like duochrome. I'm running out of room on my hands for how much I've swatched today. And I don't have any makeup wipes to go actually like wash my hands. And then very last, and this is probably like one of my favorite palettes, is the Tiny Marbles with Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson. Okay, guys, these are... Okay, like these shades over here, like these ones right here, might be a little bit darker. This right here. But like for the most part, like these like pastel purples and pinks and this green and the love, like the nice pinks and kind of like, it's like a little bit of like a rosy kind of shades to me. More like fall rosy colors, but I mean, I think you can make it work for spring. This palette is beautiful. Mel did a fantastic job on this palette. It's absolutely beautiful. I have two of these palettes. One was broken, so they sent me one that wasn't broken, but I kept the other one because this is such a good palette. So beautiful. Definitely something to use year round, but definitely when I look at this, especially like this little quadrant area right here mixed in with this right here and this. Okay, well I dug my finger into it, but it's fine. But guys, it's such a good palette. All right guys, and that is it for this video. Those are my 10 palettes that remind me of spring. Let me know if there's any palettes I didn't talk about that you guys think are definitely spring palettes. What are some that you're excited to use for spring? Because today while I'm filming this, it's the first day of spring. And then you guys are gonna see it tomorrow, which is the second day of spring. But you guys still have 3 months of spring to use these palettes. And if you don't have them, that's fine, no big deal. That's why I wanna know, what palettes are you using for spring? I'm excited to know that. Don't forget guys, give this video a thumbs up. Click the little bell if you have not already. And if you made it to the end of this video and liked what you see, then definitely consider subscribing. I would love for you guys to join the family. And I will see you guys in my very next video. Bye.